a video. So the video is great because it keeps people on your website longer. Remax does have a library of different videos you can choose from. So I would encourage you guys to change the video up. Right now you just have a generic Remax corporate video. Make it more personal. Do you guys have YouTube for the office? Or does anyone do YouTube?
I do, but for some reason my main page, it won't hook up to.
I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you don't have YouTube, we can do it. We can build it for you in the social package, or do it yourself. Even if you just do a commercial of you, why should I work with you? Like Jason did here, right? Why should I work with you? Even if you just do that and that's it, it's really good to have that because as people are going to your website, it personalizes you, right? So they can see you and hear you, and why do I want to work with you? Things like that. So I would encourage you guys to do that. So at the bottom, also you have your listings on the map. Soon to come will be Yelp reviews and different things like that with restaurants and stuff. So you'll see all that pop up. Zillow reviews. Yes, Zillow is a competitor of ours, but we do play nice in the industry. And we understand a lot of you guys have had profiles with Zillow forever and have a lot of reviews. So we wanted to bring those over on your website for you. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, if you have more than or less than 4 reviews, this area will not populate. And then if you click on it, the review will come up. At the bottom, you also have a social wall, which they don't have it turned on. But the social wall is basically like an ongoing blog at the bottom of your website. So people can see that you're active in social media. Also, you can, it's like a blog. So whatever you want to say, come see me at the fair, whatever you want to do, because this is the first thing people are finding for you guys. It's just a cool way to have dialogue on your page, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go into the dashboard. Okay, so once you log into LeadStreet, how I showed you guys earlier, you're going to come to your landing page of your hot leads, your profile, local Q&A. I'll show you how to set that up, tell you more about that. But where everything is under apps, okay? If you click it once, everything opens. If you click it again, that box goes away. But what you want to do is click into here, and you guys are going to have homework tonight. Okay? And I'm saying this because if you don't do this tonight, you're going to forget it. And it's everything that I went over, the 6 of the 8, right? This is where you need to update that information and where you need to check to see if you're opted out of the lead pool and where you need to opt yourself back in. So do this today. It's just going to help you, right?
How would you know if you're opted out?
You'll have to go here and check.
And it'll tell you if you are?
Yep, exactly. So you, if you are opted out, then I'll show you where you can tell. So under my profile, right here, if you click on the icon, all of those options will open up. So we're just going to click on the icon there. And then the first one, this is what you need to do tonight. Go to my profile. My profile is going to bring up a bunch of tabs at the top. This is where everything is that you need to do. So the first one, what you want to do is make sure these boxes are checked, okay? If you haven't seen what your single page agent website looks like, click on that box. It opens up right next to LeadStreet. So you can see as you're making changes, and you can refresh your page and see those changes immediately. You have your headline. Oh, also the same with your homes.com profile. Make sure you click on that and make sure that your listings are showing here. If you have listings, make sure your website's going to the right place. Check your social if you have social, right? It's just about, see, like for instance, his biography isn't coming up right. Sometimes technology can be funny, and you need to make sure that you're aware of how your appearance is online. So double check that. And this is where you put all of that good jazz. And if you make any edits, I'm going to repeat this a lot because if you have paper, if you're writing this down, write this down big and bold. If you make any edits in here, anywhere in LeadStreet, you have to hit save before you move on to the next tab. If you do not hit that save button, you're wasting your time and you'll have to do your work all over again. We get calls for this more than anything else. I did all this and it's not there, right? So make sure that you hit save. Don't just keep going, getting all excited, going through the tabs, and right? Don't forget to do that. Hit save. Contact info. That's where you want to put your name. If you are on a team, see the name that you put there is the way that your name is going to get carried over to your website. So if you're in a team, you can put that in there appropriately. IDX code is your MLS ID number. If you belong to more than one MLS, just put a comma in between each. Okay? Phone number. This is where you need to put your cell phone number. Don't leave the office number there, because these profiles are getting carried over to homes.com and you guys are never in the office. On your websites, it's always going to show the office, and that's because those landing pages for single page agent websites are coming from the broker page, right? So the phone number will be there, but make sure you just put your cell phone here. Your email. This needs to be your primary email. If anybody has AOL, you don't have to announce it, but I have heard there is a delay in transmission at times with technology with AOL. So you might want to use a different email if you have another one that you use, because it may mean a delay in a lead. It could affect your leads and you accepting them in time. You can put an alternate email as well in case an email server is down, or you want to copy the leads to somebody else, or any email correspondence for that matter. The local Q&A, all the other stuff I'm going to go over. That's where all your emails are going to go. Your website URL, this is another thing that's on that list of lead accountability. So you need to make sure that you have your website URL. If you do not have a website URL, if you do not have a domain name for your single page site, go to GoDaddy and get one. Or let me know. You can let me know today or email me, whatever. We just released .homes. So if you want to, instead of a .realtor or a .com, if you want a .homes, and sells .homes, stuff like that. We do have those available now, so we can talk about that. But otherwise, call GoDaddy, get one through GoDaddy, and then we can connect that. Your Zillow screen name. So that's how you get your Zillow reviews on your website, right? So your Zillow screen name, if you're not sure what it is, you can call them. But I think if you go to your agent detail page, then it'll say Zillow.com / whatever. I think after that / is what your screen name is, if I'm not mistaken. Just put that right there. Your cell phone number needs to go here. There's a lot of people that have this missing, and that's one of the reasons why you're not getting any leads. So make sure that you have your cell phone number, make sure that box is checked, and make sure that you have your provider picked. You guys have AT&T here too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, AT&T is a little tricky. So to find your provider, you just click on that box. It's a search, type in, Verizon, AT&T, whatever. AT&T, there's like 8 options. You can't just pick any one. You need to pick the one that's yours. And the way that you do that, if you have AT&T, you might want to write this down. Go to your cell phone like you're going to send a text message, okay? So go to Messenger like you're going to text message, but type in your email. Say hi, hit send, go to your email, look in your inbox. You're going to have an email from 757-955-4736 at AT&T.mtt.net, or whatever that says tells you which one that you are. I think Sprint is the same way. If anybody has Sprint, I think there's 3 options for Sprint. So has everyone got that? Okay. Now, if you're opted out, this is where it happens. These boxes will become unchecked. Now, you'll only have 2 boxes unless you're a part of a team. If you're a part of a team, you should have a 3rd box. If you do not have a 3rd box here and you are on a team, you need to email eCare, copy the broker, just because I'm not sure if eCare can contact membership for the brokers or the broker has to do that, but or you just email eCare, they can tell you what to do, but membership needs to create the team for you. So make sure that if you don't have that you do that. Now, if you go on vacation or you're sick or something like that, you want to forward leads to somebody, you can do that here as well. And that's good because that means you don't have to worry about, the accept and decline thing after 3, you get opted out. A way to prevent that is to just forward your leads to somebody else. And you can do that there. Now, what do you do if you make any updates? Save. Good. Okay, so we're going to save that. We're going to go to the next one. The next one is social networks. This is how you get your social media channels on your page. Okay? Like I said, if you are not active, do not put them there because it looks terrible when you haven't posted in a long time. Another thing to keep in mind, and a lot of you guys I'm sure don't know this, but you're using your personal Facebook for business, stop right away, because Facebook, in the fine print, it says your profile, your account will be permanently deleted if you're caught using personal for business. The reason why is because they have business pages for a reason, and because they're now publicly traded, right? And they're trying to sell ads and stuff like that. So they're now becoming a real business. So they are, that is a rule. So what you want to do is if you don't have a business page, make sure you create one. Or like I said, we do have a platform for that. But don't leave your personal page there. Make sure you're getting to your business page before you copy your URL. All right? Everyone knows how to do that. When you go into Facebook, just get into your business page and then copy the link at the top, right? So you do the same with all these other social media channels. And when you do that, these links, guys, are going to show on your website. It's going to show on Remax.com. It's going to show on Homes.com. So, you know, if you're active, it's good. It's great exposure, and it could definitely mean the difference of you winning a listing. YouTube. Someone was saying you did the YouTube and it didn't work. This is where you update your YouTube video on your page. So you copy the link and you put the video there, and that's a video that's going to show on your website. YouTube channel is if you have a YouTube channel and you have other videos there, so you want to link that, then that's where you would put that. If you blog, you put your blog address here. And then what do you do if you change anything? Save. Okay. I'm going to say that just because it's very important to remember. It's going to frustrate you otherwise if you forget, right? I don't want you to have to do your work. You're already busy enough. You don't have to do your work more than once. Okay, so office info. I would also double check to make sure that this information is correct. In my class yesterday, there were 2 agents that came from another office, and in membership still had them attached to another office. That can cause a lot of errors and a lot of different things. So make sure that your office that you're affiliated with is in here. If not, it is grayed out, so you do have to email eCare to get it squared away. You can't, and it's grayed out, you know, because that way you can't get mad at Joe one day and say I'm going to work for Remax across the street or something, right? So you can't change where you work. But make sure that it is accurate. If not, then just let eCare know. And double check it too. Whenever you put in a request for something, make sure they did it, right? Because you got to follow up with people. This is all important stuff here. All right, so coverage area. This is very important because this is where your zip codes are. Now, make sure you put 10 zip codes because these are the free leads that you're getting from the non-Remax listings on Remax.com. Basically, the way that this works is it's like putting your name in a hat. So let's say if there's a very popular zip code that probably everybody in this market wants, and everybody has that zip code, there's going to be a lot of names in that hat, right? So you might not see as many leads. What you can do is put that one zip code 10 times to increase your chances. You can put 2 zip codes 5 times each. Or a little trick that a broker told me, actually, because there was one agent that was getting a ton of leads, more leads than anybody else. First of all, they weren't opted out. There's a lot of people in my class that were opted out. But also, they had zip codes in that nobody wanted to work. So if you just want to get some stuff in your pipeline to work, put zip codes in that you might not necessarily want to work because those people might not be stuck to that zip code, right? They might be looking in other areas. Or they might really want that zip code and you don't want to work with them. But if that's the case, then just give it to somebody else or something, whatever. But if you just want to fill your pipeline up with people, with contacts, with leads, then that's a way to do it. Homes.com coverage areas. You guys also get 5 areas in Homes.com where we list you as a local professional. So make sure this isn't the same. You don't put your city 5 times. We're not going to show your profile 5 times in a row. But put your 5 cities in here, and that's where we're going to show you as a local professional in that market because 85% of the traffic on Homes.com are not yet working with an agent. So it's a great place. They're looking for you there. They're looking at your endorsements. They're looking at your profiles. They're going to your websites. That's why I said make sure that everything's complete on your profiles too and accurate. There's some people missing pictures I noticed too on those. Okay, so now if you make any changes, you hit save. Then designations. Designations, just make sure obviously you check those boxes. They're going out everywhere as well. Everything that we're doing in here in this section is going out to Remax, to your website, to your single page office website, and to homes.com. So that's why this stuff is important. That's why I'm saying do this tonight. So designations, just check the box of what you have there, and then save Remax image. What that is your background photo on your single page agent site. So every market has a library of different photos that you can choose. So you just check that box and save it. If you want to upload your own, go ahead and upload your own. But I would, keep in mind, you don't want to violate any copyright infringement laws or anything like that. Also, you want to make sure that your video, that your photo is high resolution and that it looks right across all platforms. All right, so you want to go to your phone, take a look at your phone to make sure that it looks good because, you don't want it to be blurry, anything like that. Like I said, this is your storefront online, so you want it to look the best that it can. And then hit save. So that is it for the profile. The 6 of the 8 things I went in earlier, that's it. That'll take you a minute to do, but go in and do this tonight or you'll forget, okay? There we go, everyone good there? Can we move on? All right. I also want to show you guys just a little trick to maneuver around in LeadStreet. If you look right here, it says you are here. This is basically a breadcrumb trail showing you where you are within LeadStreet. So you can just go back a page to get back to where you were before. Okay, so it's taking me back to the landing page. And then remember, everything is under apps. Click it again, that box goes away, opens up. And that's where we just were right here under the first tab. But I'm going to click on the icon again because I want to show you guys these other options. So when you click on that, this is a quick link to upload your photo. On homes.com Q&A, this is where we have a general board of people that are asking questions, and there's a lot of realtors that are answering them. It's good to set yourself up on these. You'll get an email if you do saying that somebody has a question in the area. So when you go here, what you want to do is just put in your city and the city and state. You have to do one at a time. So put in your city, comma, state. I would just hit all available because people aren't usually that specific. And then hit add alert. Now keep in mind, so just go in here and keep doing this. Keep in mind, these aren't going to be text to you. They're going to be just emailed to you. And I mean, there could be you could win some deals from this, from buyers and sellers, right? But also there might be spam marketing companies and people are getting smart. They're trying to find a way to get in front of you. So you may see junk. We do have a team of people that monitor this, try to monitor that, and we, take care of it so it doesn't happen again. But some get leaked through. It's just, what happens. If there's one that you guys notice that you keep getting all the time or whatever, and we haven't caught it, just email eCare, just copy it, send it to them, say, look, this particular person, I keep seeing this email all the time. You don't have to waste your time doing that, but, if you want to. But anyway, when you answer these questions too, you use that time to kind of sell yourself. Just say that's why you want to work with an agent, and that's why you want to work with Remax, right? Kind of thing, whatever. And then all of your questions that you answer will be stored here, and your answers. So all the questions and then all the answers are stored. So you can always go back to them to review if you start building a relationship with somebody. The average consumer is looking online 6 months before they want to talk to an agent, right? So they're doing their own research. So they are using these platforms to reach out to you. And by getting back to them and that's the beginning of building that relationship with those people. Okay, so I'm going to go back through the breadcrumb trail, right? Back to my profile overview. And the next one is homes.com endorsements. So the way that we give you the 5 coverage areas, right? Now the way that we rank them is one by being a preferred agent, which when you have the upgraded site, you're a preferred agent. I'll get into that at the end. The second way is by endorsements. The more endorsements you have, the higher that you move up. And it's also going to increase your chances, obviously, to get more people to contact you through your profile. It's very easy to do. You just put in 5 names and emails at a time, hit add another, hit send request. That's going to give them a really nice formatted email in their inbox asking for that recommendation. They just type it in, it goes back to you. When it goes back to you, you're going to get an email saying you have a pending endorsement from homes.com. Don't ignore it. Please, if you take the time to do this, make sure that you check your email and make sure you approve it, because you have to do that before it goes live. We understand that some people are just not nice people, and they might say mean things about you. So we want to allow you the opportunity to screen that before it goes live in your profile and says something that could ruin your reputation online, right? So make sure when you get that email that you're logging back in here to approve it. So what you do, right, LeadStreet apps, and go to homes.com endorsements. When you go there, you go under pending. Pending, you hit accept. Accept goes live, okay? Domain management. If you don't have a domain name yet for your single page agent website, this is how you set that up. First, you have to go to GoDaddy to get one. If you get one through us, we'll do this for you because .homes is homes.com, so we can set this up for you. If you do GoDaddy, you can just follow the steps here, and then you have to contact GoDaddy and give them this information. This is the tech coding stuff they need. I don't know this stuff either. So they do. So they're going to ask for this, and then this is what they need in order to point that domain name to your single page agent website. All right? So going back to my profile.
A question.
Sure.
When you get something from somebody, I know I have a lot of things, on Zillow. How do I transfer those things from my clients to homes.com?
Right. So on your single page agent website, you can have those reviews where I showed you guys there. But if you, under homes.com endorsements, if you do have other reviews that you want to move over under the homes.com endorsement part, if you email eCare, they'll help you. I was told we might stop doing that because we are homes.com. Zillow is our competition. We don't want to keep bringing in everything Zillow, right? So we want people to utilize our tools too. We have endorsements, but we also understand that you don't want to go back and ask the same people for another one. So understanding that, we will do it for you. You just have to email eCare because we have to do it a certain way to put in the quotation marks and put in their name. So we'll help you with it. Just email eCare, and eCare is homes.com too.
And does that mean that it goes off of Zillow?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we'll copy them in there. Yeah. Yep. So that is a way to kind of move those endorsements too over to your homes.com profile. So that is it for that section. That is what you guys need to do tonight, because I bet you at least 10% of you guys in the room are opted out of leads. Guarantee it. I'd be willing to bet. Let's try. Just kidding. But really and truly, if you want leads, then do it. If you don't want leads, by all means, uncheck them yourself. Don't get them. But that's where you do that. Now, if you're all excited and you're like, yeah, I want to do more tonight before you go to bed, I'm going to show you something else. You can set it and forget it. It's really cool. I'm getting into some of the social integration under social setup. So once again, clicking on the icon takes you to all the steps, right? So we're going to click on the icon. It's going to bring up both those options. Social settings. Wouldn't it be nice when you get a listing in the MLS that it automatically goes to the bottom of your single page agent website or your upgraded website, if you have an upgraded one with us, to your social media channels? Automatically a posting. You have a new listing. You have a price reduction. You have a sold listing. Whatever. You can do it all. It can happen automatically. So what you have to do though is, first of all, you'll have to hit the turn on button. It's 2 steps. So write this down. Don't forget this part. If you just turn it on and wash your hands of it, it's doing no good. You need to turn it on and then hit manage. Just remember, manage means you've got to manage this process, right? So turn it on, then you have to manage. Once you hit manage, you have to check where you want it to go. Check the boxes. Post on Facebook, post on Twitter, require a photo. We do pull the photos in automatically, but that's if some markets, I think, allow you to put a listing in without putting all your pictures up yet or something. So if you want to do that, include price reductions, include sold listings, your sold listing. Not everyone's sold, your sold listings. You can check that box too. And then, what are you going to do? Save. Right. That gets missed more than y'all would think. I wish we would just get away with that save and just save it automatically, but, you know, technology's not perfect, right? Most of us were alive and we didn't have cell phones, so you know what I mean. It's all fairly new. But for now, just hit save. So, all right, so open houses here. So open houses is the same exact thing. If you turn that on, it will automatically send out a post to the bottom of the website and to your social media links with your open house information, the picture, the details, all of that of the listing. But there is one thing to add with this, okay? I'm gonna add something to your to-do list when you do an open house. Don't throw anything at me. I know you have enough to do. But if you want it to automatically go out to the bottom of your website and to your social media channels, when you have an open house, you go into the MLS and do it there. Also, go into LeadStreet and go to your listing tab. I'm going to get there in a bit, but just go to your listing tab under apps, find your listing and hit open house. Then put in the date, put in the time, yada yada, hit save. When you do that, right after you put it in the MLS, it's automatically going to go out to your website and your social media channels. It'll even send you an alert 24 hours in advance. So you also have to hit turn on and manage. Remember that. Whenever you turn any of these on, you also have to hit manage. Facebook, when you turn that on, it's going to send you through a series of user permission, right? So make sure just accept all of that, and it's going to come from your personal profile because your business page does come from your personal profile. So just hit yes, yes, accept, go through. And then you also do have to go through one more step, okay? When you go through one more step, it'll say manage. And this is very important because under the manage, once you do that, if you have a business page, it will say, keep in mind that could take 24 hours to load all the way because the social is trying to connect to Facebook, right? Or trying to connect to LeadStreet. But once you manage, it'll say your name, like your personal page, or your local business page. Make sure you check your business page. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to post to your personal page. So turn on and then manage. Twitter is the same thing. Turn that on. Same exact thing. So once you do all of those, you pretty much set it and forget it, right? Other than having to, when you have an open house, tell the listing you have an open house in LeadStreet. And that's it. When you turn on Facebook and Twitter, what that's going to do is now allow you to use, I'm going to go back here, right? I'm just showing you guys how to maneuver through. That's why I'm talking as I'm going through the steps. Social overview is another option, social broadcaster. So that's the next one. Once you set it up and you turned on Facebook and Twitter, your social broadcaster is where you can go to post a message out in one place, and it goes out to the bottom of your website and to your social media channels if you want to do it manually. What you can do here is, if you want it just to go to your website, if you don't do social media, just don't check the boxes for social. If you want it to go to social too, you just have to check the boxes here. Okay? Type in your message, whatever, hit post. Upload a photo if you want. If you want to, let's say today you want to see how this thing works, and manually you want to push a listing out, or manually you want to put an open house in here, you can do that manually too. So what you,
I'm
sure.
sorry. So if you, because I noticed there's a bunch of listings that I have in here that are already sold, and for some reason it says off market.
Oh, it should say sold.
And they sold, but I can't change it. So I'm gonna have to go over this with you.
Yeah, we can look afterwards.
I
That's
have
fine.
A mess in here.
Yeah, I can help you afterwards. Yeah, if anyone's having any issues that maybe, you know what I mean, might be unique, we can talk afterwards or call me, only because I know everybody's busy and we're all ADD in real estate, so we can't sit long for too long. Can't sit in the same place for too long. So, you know, I get it. So just, I can help you in the end or afterwards or whatever. So just let me know. But if it's something that everyone might be having, please do ask. Like I said, open conversation, no questions stupid. But getting into very, very technical things you need help with, I'll be happy to do that afterwards. Okay, so if you want to do it manually, if you hit listing, then what that's going to do is bring up all of your listings underneath. And then you can insert it into the message. So you just hit insert into message. Now when you insert that into the message, it's going to pull in the photo, it's going to pull in all of this. Now, what you want to make sure is that you do not delete that or you're going to delete the entire post. So make sure that you enter down, okay? So click on right there by the arrow, enter down. Why is this not arrowing down? I think because some things are going to be funky, guys, because I'm on a projector. It changes my screen up a little bit. Oh, gosh. I don't know what that is. What is going on? Okay. Weird. Okay.
Just say no.
No. So listening. This is narrator. I don't know. That's really weird. Anyway, so what you do is you would enter down there. It's giving me what you're looking at right now, just so you know, is the responsive version of LeadStreet, because it's recognizing my screen as not being my computer screen, but it's a smaller projection, right? Because when you hook to a projector, that's what it does. So that's why some things are going to be a little different. But if you're on your computer, you can enter down here very easily and type in, check this listing out. It's been on the market for 1,000 days. You have to look at it. I'm just kidding. You don't say 1,000 days, but you know. But whatever you want to say, just go in, type that in. You know, hot listing, new on the market, whatever. And then you have a character limit for each social media channel has separate character limits, right? So go in, you can type whatever. Just make sure you enter down. Don't delete any of that. You delete that, you're deleting your post. And then you check the boxes if you also wanted to go to social, and then you hit post. Okay? Do the same thing with open house. When you click on the open house one, keep in mind you have to have gone into listing and said you have an open house on a listing. It doesn't read the MLS like that. So after you set that up, then you can go here and manually push an open house out. So like you can set it up automatically under the social settings where we just were, or you can do it manually. So that is that. Or if you just want to type in whatever, something, you know, come see me at the fair this weekend, you want to put a picture of your neighborhood, you know, whatever, of the fairgrounds. You can do that too, right? So just an easy and quick way to give you information on your website and on your pages, your social media. And it's integrated right in. Okay, so that was social overview. I'm going to go back to apps at the top, okay? So where we just finished, we did all of that, and we just did this tab. So these two tabs might be good to do tonight. You have to do this one. I'm not giving you a chance. I'm going to call you tonight and make sure. At midnight. No, but make sure that you do this because it's going to help you. But, you know, and that would be good to set up too if you want to start using those tools before you forget. All right, so now we're going to go up to lead and contacts. Guys, if you're paying, I love mail. If you're paying money for a CRM, but you're not using all the tools in there, you know, I know a lot of systems are very, very robust. If you just want a basic CRM, that's what LeadStreet is. And a benefit of using LeadStreet as your CRM is that it's all one place, log in once, access everything, but not to mention, right? Why is it important to have all of your contacts and manage your contacts in LeadStreet? Why? Does anyone know?
They go and look up a listing, it comes back to you.
You got it. Exactly. And that's even if they go, think about this, like even if they go to homes.com, they're still finding your websites, right? So let's think about it. Homes.com and Remax are integrated in together now. So not only if they go to Remax.com and search, but if they go to Homes.com and start searching and end up on your single page agent website or whatever, it's the same exact, you know, thing. You want to make sure everything is getting back in LeadStreet. So that's why that, and let me get back in here really quick. That was Carrie. Sometimes I get booted out of profiles.
I got booted out.
All right, move this back down. Okay, so going back up here, So leads and contacts. This is, like I said, it's mobile responsive, very easy to use. So if you guys download LeadStreet on your phone, like I said to do, as an app, then how many times are you, let's say, for instance, you go to Starbucks, you meet somebody that is just moving to the area, right? Or you're at a fair or park, whatever, you meet somebody, and you just give them a business card or something like that. They're done talking to you, they sit down with their coffee or they leave, and they're like, oh, I think she said she works for Remax. I lost her card, but, you know. They're just going to go to Remax.com probably because everyone knows Remax's name. They're probably just going to go to Remax.com, and that hour you just spent building a relationship and talking to that person, you just lost a deal. Because that lead is probably going to go to somebody else. 99.9.9999%. It's going to go to somebody else. What are the chances it's going to go back to you at that point, right? There's a lot of you guys. But what you want to do is have it on your phone. Very easy. The boxes pop up. It'll say contact manager, listings, blah, 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 blah. Hit contact manager, hit add new. With 3 clicks on your phone, you'll get to your contact manager, add new, type in their phone, so you're talking to them in line, type in their name, what do you have to have from them to know? Email. Email is the unique identifier, and that's because most people have an email longer than anything else. So make sure that you type in their name and their email, and also get their email if there's 2 of them, husband, wife, or something like that, because it is by email, and then their phone number. With a couple clicks, you have it on their phone. So once they leave you or they sit down and they lost your card, or you know, they just go to Remax.com, you'll get notified immediately. Okay? So why not, right? Now when you're in here, there's a little wheel icon. The wheel icon basically means more information. So whenever you see that, click on that, and it gives you all the stuff here. But before I click into edit, just know at the top you can sort these, you can search for people, all of that good jazz. But what you want to do to see all of the information on the contact, you want to hit edit. You can go inactive if they're inactive, but you don't want to delete them. And I wouldn't delete anybody out of LeadStreet. Every class I go to, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. Someone in here is probably thinking about it right now, but it's okay. They're like, I have so much stuff in there, I don't know, can I just delete it all and start over? Like, don't delete all your contacts. What do you mean? You know, like you have their email address from something that's somehow connected to you. They ever look for real estate, you're going to be notified. Don't delete anything in here. Right? You can make them inactive, but don't delete anything out of here. If anything, I'm going to show you guys how to import prospects in LeadStreet. That's what you want to do. Don't take anybody out. Okay, so that's where you do that. Now, activity timeline is where you can see, and whenever you see these arrows, just like the wheel means more information, the arrow is a drop down, right? So make sure you click the drop down, and it's going to show you the activity of that consumer. What did they do, right? Were they looking at listings? Did they email you? You know, they just emailed or messaged them, you know, something. Go to the next one, manage contact info. That's where you put their email. So if you notice one that doesn't have an email address, it's not doing you any good in LeadStreet. So I would probably, you know, when you get a minute, go through, look at your people in there, and if anybody's missing an email address, try to get it. Call them. You can probably Google their name. These days you can find an email for people very, very easily. Just Google their name or something if you know where they work, whatever. Probably find LinkedIn. But so find that, make sure you put that in there. You know, and it'll tell you the source too. So something I'm going to show you guys in a minute is, remember I said that, you know, you want everything to go into LeadStreet because of the email, you need to own that person. We have a LeadGator tool that will allow you all of your leads to be copied into LeadStreet, and it'll tell you who the source is. So now you can get a better gauge of where are most of your leads coming from. If you're on Zillow, if you're on Realtor.com, you're on Trulia, you're on Homes.com, you can now see a list of where most of your leads are coming from. And also think about this. Let's say you spend a ton of money on zip codes with Zillow. I'm sure somebody in here does. Always does. If you do, think about if they're connected with you, you work at Remax. They're on Zillow, they do whatever, right? They're going to end up going to Remax.com. When they go to Remax.com, if you don't have them in your LeadStreet, they're going to start getting calls from a fellow Remax agent, right? And if they didn't sign that buyer agreement with you, who's to say they're going to continue to work with you? People don't know sometimes. They'll just start working with everybody, right? So make sure that the lead gator, you have that set up so that all of your leads, no matter where your leads are coming from, are being copied into here. All right, so contact category is important. And this is because you can send out an e-blast. Let's say you want to blast out all your realtors about a listing that you need help selling or something like that, right? Or an open house. You can now blast out an email to all of the realtors that you have. So you can upload spreadsheets of your realtors. You can upload, you know, if you want to just email your buyers or your home inspectors or your sellers, whatever. So what I would do is, if you do go to, you know, let's say Starbucks, and you start adding new contacts into here, or even if your leads start coming through, whatever, put them on a category. Just take a minute to update their account record. And if you do it on your phone, it'll be very easy to do in a second. But do that, it's going to start making you more efficient and helping you close more deals, because you'll be able to put people on automatic drip campaigns in here or send an e-blast to specific category. You don't want to put everybody in the same category. We have one of the drip email marketing campaigns, which I love and I think you should do for anybody that you sell from this point moving forward. I want you to do this. Put them on a drip. Make sure you put seller. And there's one for anniversary. Buyer anniversary. So, and it's 10 years. Every year they get a really pretty email from you saying, congratulations, a year ago today. Congratulations, 5 years ago today. You bought your home with me. I blah, 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 blah. It says a little thing, but then it says, you know, I would love to help you. If there's anybody you can think of that you can refer to me, I would appreciate your business, whatever you want to, you know. It's nice and formatted. You can edit it if you want to edit any of the email campaigns. But what if you set everybody up on that? In 5 years, when they're ready to buy another house and sell, they're going to think of you because they had a good experience with you. And every year, for 5 years, for 10 years, they've been getting an email, right, saying happy anniversary. Of course, that's going to give you the warm and fuzzies. I just got the chills thinking about it, you know. But you know, it'll give them the warm, like this person, they've been keeping up with me for 10 years. Oh my gosh, are they still doing real estate? You know. So it's just going to make them remember you and increase your opportunity to capture more referrals. So every time you sell somebody, I would totally do that from this point forward.
Can you go back?
Pardon?
Can you go back
Can I go back?
with a buyer that you sold like last
Yes. So instead of walking you through the steps, because it might confuse you because there's so much information and stuff, email eCare to show. They'll show you how to edit a camp. I'll show you where to do it too, but without
I
getting
can do
so
eCare,
specific.
I'm just asking.
Yep, exactly. Well, I'm going to get into the basics of it, but what you can do is for each of the campaigns you can edit, you can actually change the when it starts. Yep. So it's like so you can say starts after 365 days or something like that kind of thing. But yep, you can do that.
So if you sold something 3 years ago, could you make their next alert
The
year
4th year,
4?
yep.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's why I said it can be a little tricky to make sure it goes out right. And you can always just send one to yourself to try out, to play with it, right? So set one up for yourself and see how it comes across. Make sure it's reading correctly. And if it doesn't, then you can always email eCare and they'll walk you right through how to do it. But yeah, you can definitely do that. Okay, and you can also put people in more than one category as well. And you had a question too?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so a lead comes in and you see that it doesn't have a phone number, it's just an email.
Right.
Okay? Then it says recent activity, share a listing.
Yep.
Okay?
That's awesome. Okay. I'll tell you what that means.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so what that means is, so, I mean, y'all know people don't want to talk to real estate agents until they're ready, right? They're probably, a lot of times, in some sources, you don't have to put a phone number in. So, you know, they put that in there, just their email address. Share a listing means that they're showing whether their husband, their wife, their child, or friend that's moving to the area, they're sharing one of your listings with somebody. So what you want to do, when that happens, what I would do is I would put them in a category, you know, of let's say buyer, because if they're not the buyer, you know, if they're not sharing it with their husband or wife, then they know someone that wants it. You know,
So they're sharing it with.
They're emailing that listing information to somebody. So what you want to do, they're
But
sending
you don't
someone
know
your
who they're
listing.
sending it to.
No. Mm-mm. No. We do allow some room for
So it
privacy.
doesn't mean they're sending it to me necessarily.
No, they're sharing that listing to somebody else. Whether it's their husband, their wife, their child, someone that's moving to the area and they're like, hey, look at Ann's listing at Remax, I love this house, right? So they're sharing it. So what you want to do is, what I would do is, I would then put them in a category of buyer probably, and I would put them on a drip camp. I would send them an email first of all. You can send it right through here, and I'll show you how.
Oh.
And then I would
Do
put
you
them on a
have to send
campaign.
it through here?
You don't have to, but I would, just because it tracks everything, right? It stores everything that you're doing. So email them, because they're doing their research is what they're doing right now, and they might not want, or maybe it's for a friend and they don't want you calling them because they're not looking, their friend is. But their friend is getting your listing information, so you want to begin building a relationship with whoever that person is that's looking at your listings, right? So just click a button and you can put them on a drip campaign for whatever it is. There's all kinds of options that you can put them on, and I'll show you that. But yeah, I would do that. Just put them on a drip, because they'll start getting familiar with seeing you.
But you don't have any contact with them, so you don't know. You put them on a zip, on a drip.
Well, some people only like to do email. Some people hate being on the phone, right? Some people maybe don't have a phone. So, that's a very easy to use form of communication. You can access, email in a second, just like you can text.
Right.
So I would, just because it's an email,
But if you don't
you guys
get
get leads or just email, don't disregard them, because it could still be a very hot lead. They just prefer to use email because maybe they're a government worker and they can't bring their phone on base or something, right? So still treat those leads the same exact way as you would if it was a phone call. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So you would put them on a campaign even though you have no idea what they are looking for.
Start conversation, right? That's the beginning of the relationship building.
But
That's
if
what I
they
would
don't
do.
respond is what I'm saying.
To share an industry statistic is contacts, it takes 6 times before they'll reach back out to you, right? So, yeah, so if they don't respond right away, you can, when you have them on the drip, at least you're sitting in front of them. If you're trying to generate business and you have time on your hands, email them again the next day. Email them a couple times, whatever. But yeah, these are just ways to help increase your chances to convert them. If you're busy with enough business and you don't want to chase down an email, then, fine. But I'm just saying that, if you want to, then there are some really, really cool ways that are integrated in here that you could potentially, turn that into a serious buyer or seller. Right? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I see the look in your face.
Well, it's a distraction.
Let's move on.
Okay. All right. So anyway, if you do make any edits in here, hit save once again. Okay?
You have a question?
Hit save. Yes.
I see that you have a list of drip emails. If we have our own drip emails, can the eCare help us upload them?
Yes, ma'am. So we do have a bunch built in. I'm going to get into after this, and you can add your own. So you can actually take yours, copy and paste, and build your own campaign. It walks you right through it. Yep. Good question. Okay, so properties. That tab means these are properties they were looking at on Remax.com. The next tab down is LeadStreet. Those are properties they were looking at on your single page agent website. If there's no properties, that means they're not looking at a specific property. They just emailed you or messaged you or did something else on your profile, looked at reading your information or something. But that is where you can track to see everything they're looking at on Remax and your website. The next one down is buyer profile. So if you have the upgraded website that's available to y'all through homes.com and Remax, there's a very big box, easy to do, where your buyers can set up their own alerts for properties that come in the MLS up for sale. So they can set up their own buyer profile right on your upgraded website, and then you'll get notified they set up a buyer profile. You'll get an email so you can go, like, maybe they're looking, whatever. And then you can see all the properties, or all the criteria rather, that they put in. So that's where that would be stored, or you can create it for them from here, which you'd probably do through the MLS. But if you want to do something different, you can. But this is mainly for the upgraded site, so you can see what they're setting up, what criteria they're looking for. Drip email marketing campaigns, click a button to turn these puppies on. That's it. You might not want to do that until you're familiar with what they say. So the next tab, the email marketing tab, I'm going to show you what you can look at those. But once you're familiar, that's all you do is click a button. See, there's buyer anniversary, whatever. Notes. notes, type in notes if you want to put notes on that person, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna go back. Those are all the tabs for, it's like I think I'm losing internet connection or something. Okay, so going back, and that's where you would add a new one too, by the way. All right, so leads and contacts. So where we are is under, and like I said, my screen, if you're on your computer, mine might look a little, this will just be in your left-hand column. The screen's making it think I'm, responsive, so I'm changing the size. But anyway, so under buyer profile, that's just another quick link to see those buyer profiles that people may have set themselves up on. Lead Gator setup, very important. This is where I mentioned that you guys can actually get all of your leads that are coming in from Zillow, Realtor.com, Home Finder, wherever, and copy them into LeadStreet. This is how you do that. Don't write that number down if you're thinking about it, because everybody has their own unique code. Okay? So you have to log into your Lead Gator and copy that link right there. Copy that. Then you're going to log into Realtor.com, log into Home, wherever else you have leads coming from. And in every source that you have leads, it'll say what email do you want your leads to go to, and that's where you're going to paste that there. Paste that there so that those leads get copied into LeadStreet. Zillow has a different process here because you have a different unique ID, so follow that for Zillow, but that's how you'll do it for all the other ones. All right?
I have a question on
Sure.
that one. Can we set it up to save that in our address book, and when a lead comes into our email, we just send it to that address, and it goes through directly to homes.com?
No, because the way contacts have to be imported a certain way for the fields to capture. Does that make sense? Just because it has to, just like when I show you guys how to import, all of the fields have to go in a certain way to where it'll read and organize in your listing. So their names where their names should be, their emails where their emails should be. So that's why you can't do that. But so you just have to log into that platform. Where do you want your leads to go? Put that there. It's not going to delete them out of the other one. It just copies them in. Okay, so the next tab that we're going to go to under leads and contacts, and if you're on your mobile version, you'll see the plus sign means more. But so the next one down is prospects. Now I'm going to go into that one in a second after I detask. And the reason why is because that is opening up more social integration. So write this down, remember this. What prospect means, because it can be confusing, right? You have your contact manager with all your contacts. Well, then what's a prospect? A prospect is the holding tank for your social media connections before you move them. It's kind of like the middleman. Before you move them into LeadStreet, into your contact manager, they're in a holding tank. And the reason why they're in a holding tank is because not everybody in all your social media connections you might want to bring into LeadStreet. Not to mention, we want to encourage engagement. If you prospect, if you cold call, then we want, use this nowadays. Split your prospecting up here. Work the people that you already know, that maybe you went to college with, that don't know you're in real estate, or that you haven't talked to in a long time, right? Whatever. So we want to encourage you to look at those people. Yeah, here's Ann Smith. Okay, yeah, Ann, she got married recently. Maybe she's looking for a house, right? An 8-year-old cousin, you're going to skip over. You're not going to move her into your LeadStreet. I don't know. Is 8 years old too young to prospect to? Maybe you want to move them over, but sure.
If they're in the holding tank, are we gonna know if they look up a listing?
Only if you, and when I get into the social networking, I'll kind of dive into that a little bit. Only if they end up connecting with you. You move them, yes. Answer that, yes. Short,
Okay.
sweet, yes. Sorry.
Nice.
I'm not a trainer, I told you. I kind of get too deep into things sometimes. But yes, you will be notified as long as you have their email address.
Right.
Remember, the email address is most important. And one of the issues with that, with social media, is that maybe their email address isn't in their Facebook, or it's private, so they have it protected. That happens sometimes. So that's why when you move them in, I'm going to show you when I get into that, you want to double check. What you're going to want to do is come back right here under Contact Manager, right? And hit sort, or it's probably already on most recent, and then see if you see that email address right there.
Okay.
The email is always listed right under the name. If there's no email there, what you want to do is call them, whatever, Google their name. You can find an email. And then you want to remember how to update the email. the wheel, and hit edit. Wheel means more information, edit, and then it says contact information. And I'm saying that just so you guys can kind of remember. But, so, yeah, so that's what you want to do. And then you will be notified. So think about that. People you went to college with 20 years ago, reach out to them, and, or even if you just move their email over, you'll be notified. So, yeah. All right. Okay, so going back here, task also is, just so you guys know, that's pretty much just a cheat sheet, if you will, of what everybody has done in LeadStreet for you. So you can always look here, a weekly view, a monthly view, or a grid. This is a grid. It shows up as a task. So it'll say, you know, Joshua wanted me to get in touch with him. He's requesting I get in touch with him. And these links just go right back to edit, would take him to, remember what edit was under contact, all of his contact information, or you can send him an email, launch him into a drip campaign, whatever you want to do. So you can look at this as a quick link of what are your contacts doing. They signed up on Remax. They saved a listing. They got in touch. When they saved a listing, they're saving, it doesn't necessarily mean your listing. They just saved a listing on your website and that sort of thing. All right, and there's 5 pages. Whenever you see an arrow, it means more information right there. So there's all of that. So you might want to use that. And you can also add a new task. So if you want to set reminders to call buyers back or whatever, you can always set a reminder, and it will remind you when that time comes in LeadStreet to do that. All right? So we're going to go back a step there. And that is pretty much it under leads and contacts. Any questions there? All right, so going back here, I'm just taking you back. Email marketing is the next tab. So we just did everything here, okay? That prospect tab I'm going to get into, because that's the holding tank, remember, for social. I'm going to get into that in a minute because that, if you see that link, it's also found right here. It's the same thing. It just takes you, it's just because it is also a contact or a lead, so that's why it's there too. But I'm going to show you how to set it up first and show you in this tab. So drip, the email marketing, click on that to get familiar with them, just so you can see what they are. And this is where you can create your own campaign if you wanted to create your own. What you're going to do here is you can select your recipient. And your recipient, you can put all categories, or you can pick a category. So this is where, remember under that contact where you would check the box for the category? That's where this comes from. So now you can email blast out and email to all that specific group. I had a guy in one of my classes that was a soccer coach. He talked to all of his soccer parents about him being in real estate. They all know he stays in front of them, but you know, people tend to forget. So what he wanted to upload a spreadsheet of those people, those soccer parents, into here so that he can blast out an email to them. And then so that he can have their email in LeadStreet. So if they ever go to Remax, you know, since he talks about Remax all the time, right, then he gets notified and another agent doesn't start calling him. So you can do that, and you can open a new category called soccer parents or whatever. So you can add your own. We already have a lot of categories built, but if there's something that's unique to you, then you can add a new category. And it's under lead and contact. You'll see an option that just says add a category under advanced settings. Advanced settings doesn't come up in the mobile view. It's only for a desktop version. But so if you want to jot that down, advanced settings, you can manage contacts category. Manage contact category means adding a new category for your prospects, right?
What happens if they're already in there with another Remax agent?
It'll notify you.
It'll tell you.
Yep, it'll
they're
tell you.
there.
Yes, ma'am.